Hello guys, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Demi back on the Raptors upload, and today's video we're talking about what makes O.G Aunnoby really so good and why he's questioning to have more than an increased role in the Raptors offense. So if you are new, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts as these OG rumors have been swirling around. And I know OG now, he really wants a role in this Raptors offense, but an increased role. So if you are new, hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And let's get right into today's video for today's topic of discussion. First off, let's talk about what makes O.G Aunnoby really so good. O.G Aunnoby is one of the best 3-and-D guys you can have in your team. He can hit threes within no problem, and he can create for himself on offense along with teammates. He's also a smart and caring player, and he gets better each and every day, as he's only 25 years old on a team with a team-friendly contract of 3 years with the money being paid of $64 million. So that's a really good friendly contract, but I think O.G Aunnoby, he's very good on the floor and he can basically create for himself and for his teammates as long as he's just playing within the flow of an offense. But I'm really wondering why he's asking for an increased role, as his offensive usage rate is about 20.4%, so I'm really seeing why he wants an increased role, as the highest player that has the most offensive and defensive or total usage rate is Pascal Siakam at 27%. So I think honestly, I can see why OG wants an increased role on offense the Raptors, because I know their offense was kind of stagnant at times, and they just need that go-to scorer that can give him a bucket in any time possible. I think with OG having this increased offensive role, it can create for himself along with his teammates as well, and it can make it easier for the Raptors to score as they have offensive drought. I don't think OG asking for an increased role, I think that's really a positive, as he wants to grow his game and develop from here and onward with the team. But as for OG's stats last season, you already know what he averaged. He averaged 17.1 points, 5.5 rebounds, 2.6 assists, shot 32% from the 3-point line on 6 attempts on average, and shot a field goal at 44.3%, and shot from the free throw line at 75.4%, and he had an average of 1.5 steals as he played 48 games last season. That's really not enough, but I think OG, if he can be added more in these Raptors games, so they need him desperately, I think they can get it done, because without OG, the Raptors as a team, they're 17-31, which is about a 50 win percentage or 55 win percentage, but I think with the Raptors, they tend to get it done on a 99-out basis, depending on who they're facing. But if you don't have your number one 3-and-D guy, without OG, it can kind of be hard for the Raptors to take a note in his absence. But honestly, for OG, I just think, as I always say, he has to play more games, and I think the Raptors could probably reach about a 50 win total as for last season. But honestly, OG is a very good player, and I think the Raptors have him on their team. But for OG, his on and off court rating is plus 3.9 with a plus minus of 3.1. But without OG, like I said, the Raptors are 17-31, and that leads to their team's record without him being 54.5%. So honestly, I think if the Raptors are healthy, they can desperately kill anybody in the East. I don't care who it is. If you have players like Pascal, Scotty, Fred, OG, Barnes, and then you have your complementary bench players like Preston Chua, Otto Porter, Boucher, Brooks, and others, I think the Raptors team can solidify themselves to the group. But I think the Raptors, they don't really need a superstar, as I always say that. But with OG, he's just a superstar in the making, as many teams want him now, because many teams lack 3-and-D guys like OG. But as for now, I made a little note on OG's offensive production, as I'll dive into advanced stats otherwise. For OG Aunnoby, he shoots 26.7 off pull-up threes, and he shoots 29.9% off field goal percentage on pull-ups. For catch and shoot, OG shoots an average of 39.6 from the 3-point line and 40% from the field on his own. But with those catch and shoot shots, 30 to 40% is them being wide or wide open shots, so I think OG would make them no problem. But I think for his usage rate, it comes down now to a usage rate of 20.4%, as I think that's probably a third or fourth usage rate for OG, as Scotty Barnes had an average usage rate of 19%. But for the usage rate, the highest usage rates on the Raptors are Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam at 23% and 27%, because I know they create most of our offense and they score most of our buckets. But as for OG, breaking it down, we already know his usage rate is at about 20%, so I think for honestly his field goal makes and 3-point makes into percentage of the team's scoring is about 20 to 30%, so I can see why it averaged to him wanting an increased role on offense, as you see here, due to the stats from NBA.com. Nick Nurse said there's a lot of guys out there, there's 5 guys out there and on our team that all of them can score, and we just gotta score.
You brought up O.G Aunnoby.
Yep.
We heard the report that he was not happy with his role. You're the guy that's in charge of his role with the team. So what do you say to them?
I just tell him that a lot of times if that role thing is usually they're not getting enough shots, right? And he wants to be more a part of the offense. So I certainly can help him with that. I can design plays. I can get him in situations, etc. But it's kind of a working relationship that he's got to go take some of that, right? And we're pretty, if you grab a rebound, you can bring it up the floor and go make a play. And if you got mismatches, if you got a chance to beat people, we want you to do that. And he's talented enough to do it. Like, he's come from his starting and ending drives. 3 years ago were shaky. Now his first step's better. He gets to the finish and puts you in the basket. I mean, he's coming with some of that skill work, and he's a 40% three-point shooter. It's not. There's a lot of guys out there, 5 guys out there, and on our team, all of them can score, and we just got to, maybe distribute it a little bit more and get him involved a little bit more. I think we can. I think he's good enough to do it. And in saying all that, he's a great defender, and I really want him to continue to excel at taking the team's best player and trying to shut him out.
But I think Nick Nurse, he sees OG can make an increase on the offensive end, and him asking for an increased offensive role is very suiting to him. So I think Nick Nurse, he'll take note of this and add this to our offensive repertoire as for a season as it goes along. But as for OG's advanced stats, let's dive into it here, as you already know why he wants to ask for an offensive role increase, but honestly, let's look into it here. For O.G Aunnoby, his value over a replacement player is at 1.1, and his defensive box plus minus is 0.1, and his offensive box plus minus is 0.4. As his usage rate, we already know that 20.5%. As for his PER is at 14.8, along with his assist percentage of 11%, and I don't think it's really much else. But for OG, for the stats here, you see he hasn't really done much. But I think if OG complements to the Raptors offense more, all these numbers here can go up. But honestly, OG, I can kind of see why he wants to increase role. As for most of his shots are in the catch and shoot, but I think now he wants to create for more of himself off the dribble. As for OG, he shoots about almost 20 to 30% of his shots, and I think for most of his shots are off the catch and shoot, but I think he just wants an increased role on the pull-up side and even being a primary ball handler. But honestly, the Raptors, they can run almost anybody at point guard. You have to like Pascal ran point guard, as Fred VanVleet had a lot of minutes last season. But for OG, if you want to run him at point guard, I don't see that being a bad option as well, because OG, we see him as a shot creator as he's slowly developing his dribbling style. I think for OG, he's just gonna get better each and every day. But honestly, for OG, I can see why he wants an increased role, because honestly, looking at his numbers, almost 20 to 30% of his shots are within pull-up range, and then almost 40% of his shots are being off catch and shoot. I think if OG can get more pull-up threes and shot creating shots in his arsenal, I think OG's offensive role can be increased to about 3 to 5%. I think the Raptors just need OG out there and need to play to 110%. If he can fully be healthy and make an increased growth from last season, I think he can do it. As for OG, he's a very talented player, and we'll go wherever he takes his mind to. But those are my thoughts on OG and why he might want an increased role in the Raptors offense. So if you are new again, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this video. And it's your boy Demi. I'm signing out. Peace.